Aman, you can see my screen, right?
Yes.
Okay, great. Okay, let's start. So, a warm welcome and good evening, everyone. So, let's start with our session for the day. So, this is one exciting session which is hosted in the new year. So, first we had a in-person event this year, and this is the second event we are hosting, which is a virtual event. So, agenda, welcome and introduction, then session by Aman, an exciting Kahoot quiz, and we'll wrap up. So first, let me introduce the community group leaders. Swati Agarwal, she's senior Salesforce developer at Ma Labs Kochi, and she is 7X certified. You can follow her in her Twitter and LinkedIn handles. Next is myself, Sandhya Sambashivan. I am working as an architect at UST. I'm 6X certified application architect, and you can see my Twitter and LinkedIn handles here. You can get connected on to us on social media. Here are the Twitter handles and LinkedIn handles given here. Also, you can reach us at our CGL IDs. This I'll be picking separately. Now, our sponsor for the event is Salesforce Troop. So they have very good learning, very LWC components, very good examples, which you can definitely refer and gain more knowledge on how to do everything or each component in Salesforce. So please do refer their LinkedIn and YouTube channel. So I'll be pasting this two links in the chat. And the Salesforce Troop author, Nikhil Karkra. So he's the sponsor for the day and is providing us with two LWC Udemy vouchers. So one we have dedicated for the Kahoot winner. So please do attend the session carefully so that you can win the Kahoot and will get the voucher for the Udemy. And the second one is for the maximum number of posts in LinkedIn and Twitter. So what you have to do is that you can take screenshots of the session and post that on LinkedIn and Twitter, tagging Swati, myself, Aman, Nikhil with hashtag of low code, no code. So the person who's having maximum number of posts will be the winner and will be getting the voucher. Now it is time to introduce our speaker. So today's speaker is Aman Tiwari. So the session he's going to take is on exploring new features of Salesforce. So to introduce Aman, he is 3X certified Salesforce developer at Twilio, and he is a philanthropist and hard worker, very active blogger, speaker, and instructor. So I'm welcoming Aman on behalf of the entire community group here. And thank you, Aman, very much for accepting our invite and taking this session for us today.
Thanks,
So,
Sandhya.
yeah. So, Aman, over to you. Let me stop sharing.
Thanks for the introduction, Sandhya. And thanks to the Kochi Developer Group for giving this opportunity. Just a quick check. Are you able to see my screen? Are you able to see my screen, Sandhya?
Yes, Aman. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, thanks for the introduction. Kind of self obsessed person. Again, I'm pasting my photo and all that. Sorry for that. So before I begin the session, yes, as Sandhya said, there are some certification vouchers. So thank you so much to again Salesforce Group and especially Nikhil Karikra for sponsoring for this particular session. Yes, there is like certification vouchers. There are two ways you can win that Salesforce Udemy course. Salesforce Troop Udemy course vouchers. Sorry, if I said certification vouchers, sorry for that. No certification vouchers. So the first is first way is just post about the session, whatever learnings you get from the session while the session is going on Twitter or LinkedIn, and people with maximum number of likes and comment will get the voucher. And also, don't forget to tag Kochi Developer Group, Swati, Sandhya, myself, and Salesforce Group or Nikhil Karkra, one and the same thing. If any one of you, like if you miss any one of them, then we won't be able to select you. And yes, if you don't want to do that, the second way to win is to attend this Kahoot quiz, which will be at the end, and we will be giving out the winner. The first winner will get that voucher. Okay. So with that said, quick introduction about me. Once again, I don't want to do it. So yeah, you can read everything. And the only thing that I want to highlight is I am available on LinkedIn and Twitter, always ready to help in any possible way that I can do. So yes, do reach out to me on LinkedIn or Twitter with any query that you have related to Salesforce. And with that said, let's begin with what we want to cover. That what I want to cover in today's session. So Spring 23 is round the corner, and there is a lot of chaos when it comes to flows, right? So why flow is very important? We all know that everyone does love to achieve. I don't know about everyone, but I am the person who loves to first achieve the thing without writing code. And if that is not possible, then I will write the code. So you will see me wandering around the things where you will see me talking more about hashtag low code, no code. So that is one of the reason why nowadays I am talking a lot about flows when it comes to Winter 23 updates, or wherever I go, I could just give sessions about the flows. So yeah, and Salesforce does believe in in the innovation process. So every 3 months they are bringing out some new features, and in that also they are bringing out a lot of new features in flows, right? So with that said, let's see what are the features that we are going to see today. So the first few things that you can see here is into the bulleted points mentioned here. So I would take in this way. I would tell one point and I will show the practical implementation. Otherwise, if I keep on talking, you might miss the thing that I actually want to show. Okay, so I will talk, I will highlight about that particular point, and then I will show the practical implementation. And if you have any questions, just park it at the towards the end. At the end of the session, I will take that doubts. Okay, with that said, let's see the first feature that is brought in Spring 23 release. So before I talk about the features, so I would like to tell you one thing. First, if you want to see any new features, you need to register for pre-release org. And I think this is the link for pre-release org. Okay, I'll paste the link later. Okay, so that pre-release org will be available for you, where you can see the new features that has been brought up. So I have been I have my own pre-release org here. And with that said, the first feature that I'm going to talk about is lightning data table. So lightning data table was made available in winter 23 release, but now in spring 23 they have made it available for like generally available. Okay, I mean before spring 23 it was available in the beta phase. So if you see me toggling between the tabs, just remember which one is winter 20 before spring 23 release org and which one is the spring 23 release org. How can you make that guess? Is like if you see this screen, this particular okay tab here, the URL is SF Learning Never Stops. That is before Spring 23 release org, and this one is my Spring 23 release org Panther Schools. Okay, so and here it will be like days left. So this is the way you can make a guess that this is the Spring 23 release org, and this one is the normal org. Okay. So first feature that I was talking about is that in Spring 23 onwards, Lightning Data Table is now generally available. So what was there before Spring 23? So before Spring 23, into the previous release, they bought this Lightning Data Table. So this particular feature, which I'm talking about, the Lightning Data Table, is available in ScreenFlow. Okay. So once you come on your ScreenFlow, I hope you all know how to come onto the ScreenFlow. Click on the new flow button from the flows, then click on screen flow and click on create. This is the auto layout. Okay, from there click on this plus icon and just click on screen. And in the screen flow, the first component and the components that you see here are there in the spring 23 is also, but the data table component, So this is before Spring 23 org, right? And here if you see, data table is still in beta phase. Now, what is the importance of Lightning data table? So before, I think winter 23, what was the problem is if you want to have a Lightning data table, you will have to do achieve through coding. I mean, either using Aura or using LWC, right? But now you can achieve directly with with some few clicks. Okay, so I'll just give this name as Lightning data table winter 23 API name. The same name goes for my label as well. Okay, and I'll just say use label as table title. Now, how I can bring this table here? I mean, for which particular? So data table is used to do what? Is it is used to show the record of a particular object, right? So I would be showing the records from account object. So how can I bring it? So I have to click here, source collection, and here I will just need to click on this plus icon, which is called new resource. Okay, here select the resource type as variable, give the name as account records. Okay, and here the data type I would select as record. So this data type, so if I select any other data type, it won't be able to give me the fields or the records of that particular object. Okay, so I have to select the data type as record, then click on allow multiple values. Okay, and which is a collection, it makes it as a collection, and object should be account. Make sure you keep this, all things are optional, but you can make it as whatever as my requirement available for input or output, and click on done. Okay, now there is still a glitch here. If you see, I have bought that resource. I mean, I created a new resource for that account to bring the account records, but still I'm not able to find that resource which I've created, right? So still there is one glitch here, which is still there in Spring 23 and before also. So if you see, now it is available, but I created, but it was not available. So again, you have to click here and you have to click on this. Okay. Once you do that, what is showing it? Row selection. So if you are having multiple rows, right? Like if there are multiple records, it will be coming up into the row format. So here it is saying how many rows you can select at a time. Okay, from that records which are showing up in data table, either one, either multiple or one, multiple or single or view only. I'll just make it view only. Okay, after this there is something called configure columns. So I want to show the columns means what? Fields of this account object. So as soon as I click here, it will show me all the fields of account object. Okay, so I'll just select few fields. I'll select name. Then, so when you select the source field as name, see what is saying custom column label. Apart from the name which is coming from the object, you can have your own name. Okay, you can give the own name. Like if I give account name, okay, and you can click on wrap text, clip text. I hope you all know very well. I'll click on done. This is the first column, right? Then the second column, I will just select rating, and I'll click on done. Then I will just select type. I will click on done. And one more field, I will just revenue. Okay, and I'll click on done. Now my lightning data table is ready. Okay, I'll click on done here. Okay, yeah, I didn't give the name of the screen element, so I'll just say winter 23 org. Okay, and I'll click on done. Now my this is ready, and I'll forgot one more thing to do. So here description, I'll give it this is this screen element is created to show lightning data table from winter 23.
Aman, sorry to interrupt. We are not seeing any changes on the screen.
Sorry, I mean, I didn't get that.
We are still seeing the new screen, but there is, you're typing, right? We
Yeah,
can't see.
what you can see on the screen?
We are still seeing that new screen with the previous and finished buttons, data table added.
Okay. Now,
Have you entered any description?
yeah, I did.
We can't see the description. I
Okay,
mean,
let
it's
me.
still blank. And the cursor, I think it's still, yeah, selected at printer.
Mm-hmm. Fine. Can you see it now? What can you see now?
Now we are seeing the flow,
Mm-hmm.
initial screen.
Screen flow winter 23 or that you
Yeah,
call.
yes.
Okay, perfect. So what I did, I'll tell you quickly. I created this lightning data table with the columns. Okay, and along with that, what I did, I just gave a description for my this particular screen element that I've created. Now the same thing, no worries if you have missed it, don't worry. I'll do the same thing in my Spring 23 org. So this is not my Spring 23 org. This is my Spring 23 org. I will bring it here. I'll click on new flow, and here I will click on screen flow, create. Here I will click on plus icon. In that I will select the screen element. In this I will select the component as data table. Now here, how will you able to differentiate whether it is generally available or it is in the beta phase? So anything which is in the beta phase will have something like this data table, and in the brackets it will be written beta, which is generally available. There won't be written anything in the brackets, it will be just normal way. Okay, so this is my winter 23 org, and this is not into the beta phase. So I've already, okay, sorry. So what you can do is, like suppose now if you want to bring this data table here, just click on this, it's available. Did I bought that? Yeah, sorry, yeah, it's already here in my winter 23, and now I'm doing the same thing in the spring 23 org. So here I bought this data table. I'll just give the name lightning data table spring 23, and same in the label as well, and this label as table title. Okay, and if you see here, one more, like I'll tell you after some time what I'm actually trying to show. Now here I'll give the new resource, and here I'll give the data resource type as variable. API name will be account records. Data type is record. Allow multiple. Object is account, and click on done. Okay. Same glitch here in the Spring 23 as well. I created one new resource. I entered all the detail, but still it is not coming up. So, but it is here. Okay. So I'll just select account records, and I will say again rows will be in the view only state. Configure columns, same columns.
Uh, I don't know whether it is issue with at my end. Screen is now at object only, the drop down.
Okay. Quick check
Um,
from
yeah,
others.
can somebody tell me that they can see? Okay, I think it's at my end only. It's working fine for others. Yeah, yeah. I'm sorry to interrupt. You can
No, no,
proceed.
no. It's totally fine. It's fine. You're just trying to make session run smoothly, so that's not an issue, Sandhya. It's totally fine. Okay, so what are the fields? Now I will select the field as name. Okay, and I will give the custom label again here as account name. Okay, and I'll click on done. Now this is another important or the good thing that they have bought in Spring 23. Dynamic preview is available. When I was adding columns here, okay, I'll show you again. If see, I have added 4 columns here, but I'm not able to see any preview. I have given that use label as the title, table title, but I'm not able to see that. But when you come to Spring 23, or you can see I have given use label as the table title, and I can see the title as well. I have added column, and I can see that column as well. Okay, if I add another columns like account type or rating is the field should be available. Strange. Okay, not an issue. We'll select annual Annual revenue, no. Okay, I'll take any other field which is available here. I don't know why it is not showing me. So industry, done. And four fields, I will select any one. Then I will select phone field, and the last one I will select as billing country. Okay, and I'll click on done. So see, as soon as you add the columns here, you can see those columns in the preview as well, which preview was not available there. Okay, and what about this? So if you want any buttons in the footer, you can have it, or you can just remove show footer. Okay, same thing I'll do here as well. I don't want to show this buttons here. Okay, now my data table is ready. Let's see. Yeah, I forgot to give the name. Thanks for the reminder. Let me give the name Spring 23 features on data table. Okay, I'll just copy the description from there, which I have written. And purposely, copying this. I'm writing this description because you will understand in few minutes why I am writing the description. Okay, so I'll just paste it here, and here I'll just change it from winter 23 to spring 23. Okay, now it is done. Let's check what is the more error here. Oh, okay, spring 23 features on data table. Let me save it. Okay, now it's time to test. So before, let's do it. So spring 23 features on, save it. And how can you test it? Either you can debug or run. So we'll click on run. And once I click on run, let this come. Okay, it is, yes. Oh, I'm able to see the fields, but I am not able to see the records. Can anyone quickly tell me what mistake I did in the chat? I'm able to see the fields, but I'm not able to see the records. Okay, someone said not queried. Yes. Anyone else would like to add to this? Variable collection is not populated. Pradeep, too technical. Yes. Mundrati is correct. What happened is I have not fetched the records, right? So what was I missing here? I bought the data. I bought the data table from the for that particular object, but I didn't fetch those records. All of the three people who answered it, it was correct. So what I should do next? I should first get the record. So to get the record, that means someone said query and someone said the variable collection. Both the correct answers are correct. So get records. So I will just get the account records. I'll just leave the get account records. Okay, and the object would be account. I'll just query it. Filter conditions, I will just say that give me the fields whose name is null, false. So I don't want any account which doesn't have name. Okay, and how many records to store? I'll say all records. And which, now here it is important, choose the fields and assign variables. So now what happened, I created a variable, right? Account records variable. I want that whatever value or whatever, sorry, not value, whatever data it is coming from this get records, it should get assigned to that particular variable which I created. Okay, so which variable I created to show, so I created that variable, right? Account records to show the field of that object. Now in that variable which I created, I want to store the record which is coming from here. Okay, so I'll just select record collection and I will say account records. Now here mapping is doing, here what I'm doing the mapping. So I just forgot the name of the field. So name, industry, account, phone, and billing country. So I'll just field name, industry, and rating. What was that? Account, phone. So I'll just say phone and billing country. Okay. Now the mapping is done, and I will say done. Now I will click on save again, and this time I should make sure that it should work. So it is getting saved. Now it is saved. Now let's see, run. Yes, now you can see, right? There are 3 records in my pre-release org. Okay, and you can get more records in the pre-release org. I made a mistake. I just created the pre-release org 5 minutes before the session, and I selected the edition is professional. So because of that, I'm just able to see only limited records. Okay, so this is one thing. The another important thing that they have bought in the new feature is this. See element description on the flow canvas. Now what does that means? It means, like, suppose, mm, did I give description? This will help to get account records. Okay, let me click on done. Now, see, if you see here, and I'll do the same thing in my before Spring 23 release org also. So I have given a description here, right? For this Spring element, I have given a description, and if I close this, I'm not able to see any description which has given for this element. Now, what it helps us to do. So, if people are in this particular session are developers, so whenever they write any Apex trigger or Apex class, they mention why I'm writing this Apex class or Apex trigger. Okay, so that helps us to understand any other people who is going to look into your particular class or the trigger. They will understand, okay, this particular class or this particular trigger is written for so and so purpose. In the same way, they understood that we can do the same thing in flows. We are writing the description, but instead of asking people to go inside that element, click on that element, see that, what we can do is we can just give this particular option here. So if you click here, or if you hover over it, you don't need to click also, you just hover over, that will also do. This will help to get account record. That is the description we give. This screen element is created to show lightning data table from Spring 23. Okay, so this is another good feature they have bought. The next feature that they have bought is what this, get a streamlined flow element menu. So what does this mean? So before Spring 23, if you are trying to add any element, okay, and you don't know much about that element, what it will do, so what you have to do, you will have to go and click on this plus icon and select the particular element. While selecting the element, like suppose I want to know what the screen element will do, so here it is written what it will do: collect information from users who run, and rest it's not visible, it's cut off, right? So I'll have to click on this, I'll have to hover over on this, and then it is showing me the information. Again, they made an improvement in this, and now in Spring 23, if you try to know about particular element, what you need to do, you just need to click on this icon, help text icon. So if you click, if hover, you don't need to click also, you just hover over. Okay, if you click, that particular element will pop up, you just need to hover over it, this icon. So see, it is showing the same information but in a streamlined way. Collect information to, or display information to a user who runs the flow. Okay, some easy thing. Now this is a very important feature. People who are working from in flows from last 2 3 months, they might have observed this. So this was the problem. If I am trying to use more than 2000 elements in my flow, okay, so it used to show me this error, iteration limit exceeded. Obviously, even I have not created a flow where I'm using 2000 elements, but I was attending one of the session and I saw this error. And this comes when, so suppose here I'm having 2 or 3 elements, right? There are such complex flows that there will be like this 2000 elements. Okay, and once it was exceeding 2000 elements, this error used to come, iteration limit exceeded. But now in Spring 23, say goodbye to the element iteration limit. You can have as much elements you want. Okay, so this is another good feature they have bought. Obviously, I can't show you this iteration limit here because I am not created any flow where there I'm using more than 2000 elements. So you just have to see the theoretical way which is written here. What's next? Easily add lookup fields to your screen flows. Isn't that cool update? So lookup fields, before if I want to have any lookup fields, what I'm trying to say is this. I'll go to my screen element again, and here in the fields, okay, I will just select. So lookup means what? Uh, if I am having any child object and I want to look up or I want to show the field of the parent object, okay. Let's take an example. You have case, okay. So case has the parent as contact and account. I want to show the lookup field that is contact ID or account ID, right? So before Spring 23, if you want to do that, okay, that was not possible. So what there was some workaround that you used to have to do, but now I'll show you. So this org is before Spring 23, and if I click here on this Spring 23 org, okay, and into the fields, now I'm talking about the case object. In this case object, I want to look up want to get the field lookup fields like account ID or contact ID because that are the parent of case object. So I'll just select record variables, new resource, case, okay, and I'll record details. An object will be case, okay, and just click on done. Now here it is showing you the fields from case object, but it is not showing you the account or account ID or contact ID, which are the lookup fields, right? The same thing if I try to do in Spring 23 or sorry for that tongue twisting. Okay, so I'll go here, I'll click on new resource, and here if I type cases and object, I'll give it case, okay, and I'll click on done. You see here contact ID, account ID, parent case ID, right? These are the lookup fields, right? So if I just drag it here and drop it, what is coming up? See, it is showing lookup to account, contact, lookup to contact. This is a very good feature that they have bought here in Spring 23. Click on done. Okay, the next feature that we have is choice lookup. Okay, so choice lookup means what? So if I have created, I'll give you an example and I'll tell you. I have created a lightning data table. Okay, now here if you see our lightning data table, how many records we have? Only few records, 3 records. But if I have hundreds of records, okay, will you ask your user to scroll through the screen and see those records? No, right? If the user wants to select, suppose there is one account with the name Panther Schools, okay, and you want that user to go select that account and make any changes to that account. So what the user will do? So before Spring 23, they will have to scroll through that and they have to, obviously there was a workaround, but they have to scroll through that and they have to select that particular account. Now, what they can do, they can make use of this cool feature, which is called choice lookup component. Okay. So what you need to do easily, and one more thing, this choice lookup component, which I'm talking about, it is still in beta phase. When anything is in beta phase, Salesforce says if anything is in beta phase, there is no guarantee that it will be working as per totally as per the expectation. There can be some bug. Okay, that is the reason. Not only Salesforce, anything that you still is pick up in Visa beta phase means it is in the testing phase. Okay, so this is what choice lookup. Okay, so I can just give it a name as account lookup. Required placeholder text, anything you can leave it as it is. Again, I'll create a new choice resource choice, okay, and here I'll give it a name account choice set, insert a resource. So see, okay, either it will be showing me the values from the get account records, the previous one, or the collection variable that I've created, that one, or from the single variable that I've created, or it can show me from this particular things that we have, the screen components. I'll just selected this, okay, and I will select done. Now here it will show me the values from the account, get account records, the element where we have got this record from there. Again, click on done, click on save, and click on run. Okay, so here this two feature I'll tell you, but here if you see, so here I made a mistake, I know that. I selected that get record elements and it is showing me true because I've just added that particular element. This is not the right way to do it. Okay, but here if I tell you about the lookup field which I was talking about, so you can mention any field, say not field, any name. So it should show Acme. Okay, it is showing the case, and the lookup ID, as if I mention Acme, it is showing me Acme as well. In the contact, if I type anything, I don't know which contact will be there. Any contact with the name B, or any, I'll just quickly try to get any contact. Mm, mm, Let me check. So we have this contact called Carole White. So we'll just check that and type this Carol, that is coming up. Okay, so this is the way you can get it. Let me check what is the next feature that I'm going to talk about. So this is important, or this feature is going is being built up to bring the feature that we already have in our Apex, which is called SOSL, Salesforce Object Search Language. That means if you want to search a particular value or a particular keyword from different object, or different records from different object, you can use SOSL, right? In the same way, they have bought this in Spring 23, which is called search for an individual in a flow. So what is this? So like suppose if you go here and if you click on plus and if you click on action, okay, and here just type search. So this feature is very nice. Okay, just I'll give it like test, and I'll leave it everything as it is. Now here again, this is also in beta phase. Okay, so why? Because in our SOSL, it allows us to search that particular keyword from multiple objects, right? But here it is only supported for contact and lead object. Okay, so I'll just select contact. I will say search fields, all fields, phone fields, name fields, and email fields. It is not allowing to say go through all the fields that you have. So I'll just select all fields. I'll give the name as blank. Okay, and click on done. What is that error? I think I can't give the name as blank. I'll just say United, and I'll click on done. Okay, now whatever value which is there here, I want to show on the screen. So I'll just click on screen element, and here I will say display text, and I will say this, the value shown here is coming from flows SOSL. Okay, and I will just add here that resource. So which is that, what a name I gave it, I forgot the name. Screen components, I think this was this. Okay, and contact IDs, I'll just do it. Okay, and I will just click on done. Display contacts. Okay, this is done. Now let me show it like this. So many errors. And okay. Okay, let's save this. Give me a minute. I'm just getting a because of me. Uh, yeah, sorry for the inconvenience. Actually, someone was there on the door. So yeah, what is this? Okay, so there is one more error. Issues doesn't prevent but actually one cause one. Okay, fine. Let me check. Is it working properly or not? Yeah, that is still not there. I have missed it something. Okay, so this is one of the feature which is there. I don't know why it is not coming up, so I'm very sorry for that. And the second last feature which is mentioned here, that migrate to flow tool supports process builder processes. Okay, so migrate to flow was only there for workflow rule before spring 23 and the winter 23 org, but now it is also available for your spring 23. So it was there for in before spring 23 only for your workflow rule. Now it is there for your process builder as well. So in my this org there is no process builder, so I won't be able to show you about that particular feature. I can just tell it here from here. So you can select your process builder and you can migrate it to flow, which was there only for your workflow rule. And the last one, before saying the thank you, there is one more feature that I don't know whether you observed it or not. So if I go here, okay, in this action, here it is not coming up, but I think HTTP callout is there. Now you can directly make callout using your flows. So if you want to make a callout to the external system from using your from your Salesforce org, we can do it using flows. So in future, maybe in March, I'm going to come up with a session where I will be just talking about that important feature, where you can just make an HTTP callout using your flows. Okay, so that is a very important feature, and that's the reason I've not included in this session, because I want to give a detailed explanation on that. So that is one of the feature which is there, and I will definitely make a separate session on that, and I'll show you. So yeah, with that said, I know I wasn't able to show you two particular features properly, so apologies for that. Other than that, that marks the end of this session, like this presentation. I hope you enjoyed it well, and yeah, thank you. So quickly, before we start the Kahoot quiz,
Anyone have any
can
questions?
yes,
Uh, Please
yes,
put
I
that
can.
in front. Yeah.
Please explain choice lookup again. Okay, so choice lookup. Mm, Okay, so this choice lookup, which I was talking about, which I was not able to show you, it's like if you want to have any field which is of the type lookup and you want to show it, so you can do it directly through using the choice lookup. Okay, for earlier you have to create a choice type, whether it will be pick list or the collection. Now you can directly have that field and you can bring it here directly using the choice lookup, which is still in the beta phase. Any other doubts? Okay. So if there is no doubt, be ready with your screen. Sorry, with your mobile and with your finger. Keep your fingers be very quick because you need to go for that Kahoot. So let's start the Kahoot. I will just stop sharing my screen to make sure whether it is working. I was quick test from my end. In the meantime, you can do what you can start posting out on LinkedIn and Twitter, so that by the end of the session we will get winners. Okay, so let me share my screen. Game rule: you have to be very quick with your. You have to make the correct guess, and at the same time, let me stop this music. Two things: you have to be very quick with your correct making the correct guess. Yes, I can already see that people know the rule. People who don't know the rule, you have to make the correct guess, and at the and to that too very fast. Okay, and if you don't make it, you won't be in the top. So top one winner will get the voucher. Okay, I can only see player limit reached. Okay, just give me a minute. So Sandhya, we don't want to record this, or you want me to record this as well?
That's fine. I'll stop recording now.
No, there is no certificate